My fiancé said, "I'm embarrassed to introduce you to my work friends. You're not impressive enough." I said, "Fair." Then I accepted her assessment and left. She never expected me to actually mean it. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. The wedding was 4 months away. We'd paid the deposits, sent out save the dates. My family was excited. Her family was planning. Everything was moving forward. Then one conversation changed everything. My name is Daniel. I'm 35. I was engaged to Rachel for 1.5 years. We were together for 3 years total before that. And I'm writing this because people keep asking me if I regret it, and the answer is always no. The beginning. I met Rachel at a networking event in 2019. She was impressive, still is. Smart, ambitious, working at a prestigious consulting firm as a senior associate. She had this energy about her, like she was always 3 steps ahead of everyone in the room. Like she knew exactly where she was going. I was drawn to that. I still am, honestly. Ambition is attractive. We started dating, and it was good. Really good, actually. She introduced me to her friends, brought me to work events, introduced me to her family. Seemed genuinely proud to have me around. She'd tell people, "This is Daniel, my boyfriend. He's amazing at what he does. Not perfect, but real. Warm. I'm a project manager at a mid-sized tech company. I make around $120,000 a year. Solid job, good benefits, decent work-life balance. I'm good at what I do. My team trusts me. My boss respects me. I get bonuses regularly." Rachel was making about $150,000 at the time, but it wasn't a big deal. She made more. I was fine with it. When we started dating, that didn't matter to her. She introduced me as her boyfriend with genuine warmth. She'd hold my hand at her work events. She'd laugh at my jokes. She'd kiss me in front of her colleagues. She seemed to actually like me, not as an accessory. As a person, Rachel seemed genuinely fine with my career. For the first 2 years, it wasn't an issue. Then her promotion came through. The shift. It's hard to pinpoint exactly when things changed. It was gradual, like someone slowly turning down the volume on a radio until you realize you can barely hear anything anymore. Her career accelerated fast. She made senior consultant, then moved on to the partner track. Within a year, she was making $180,000. Within 18 months, closer to $200,000. She was on track to make partner by 35, and she started hanging out with a different crowd. People on the same trajectory, all ambitious, all making serious money, all married to or dating people who were doing equally impressive things. Surgeons, investment bankers, startup founders who'd raised millions, partners at law firms. These were the people in her circle now. People with titles. People with achievements. People who had made it. And I was fine. Stable. Competent. Not impressive. Not unimpressive. Just fine. The comments started small. "Why don't you go for VP? You could be pushing yourself harder." My boss's husband just made partner at his firm. Derek just closed a deal for $50 million. You know what Claire's boyfriend is making? He's a cardiac surgeon. I defend myself. I'm happy where I am. The pay is good. The job is stable. I like my team. Rachel would say, "You could be making more. You could be building something. You could be doing something bigger." I am building something. Just not in the way you think I should. I like my life. Your life could be so much better if you just pushed yourself. She'd go quiet after that. But you could see her calculating, weighing me against this imaginary version of me that was more successful, more ambitious, more impressive, more worthy. At first, I thought she was just being supportive, that she wanted me to reach higher. But after a while, I realized it wasn't about wanting me to succeed. It was about her being disappointed that I wasn't already there, that I hadn't already achieved something noteworthy. I started noticing other things. She'd mention her colleagues' husbands constantly, not in a bragging way, just constantly. Marcus's husband just got promoted to SVP. Claire's boyfriend got accepted to Harvard Business School. Priya's husband just closed Series C funding. And then she'd look at me, like she was waiting for me to announce something equally impressive. I never did. By year 3, I realized my girlfriend was ashamed of my career. The party. For weeks before the wedding, Rachel's firm threw a cocktail party. Team building thing. She invited me. "You should come," she said. "It'll be good for you to get to know my team better. Meet some of the people who matter." I almost said no. These events weren't really my thing. Making small talk with consultants about market disruption and quarterly growth wasn't how I wanted to spend a Friday night. But I thought, okay, I should make an effort. We're getting married in 4 months. I should be more involved in her world. I should show her I support her career. So I went. I dressed nicely, wore the suit she'd picked out for me because apparently the one I liked was dated. I was polite. I engaged in conversation. I asked people about their work. I didn't embarrass myself or her. Or so I thought. Rachel introduced me around to her team. About 15 people. Mostly younger than us. All on partner track. This is Daniel. He does project management in tech. Each time, the response was polite. Friendly even. Oh, that's nice. Oh, interesting. But you could see the mental calculation happening behind their eyes. Oh, tech project manager. Not on any track. Not prestigious. Oh, tech project manager. Her coworker Claire was there with her boyfriend, a surgeon at Johns Hopkins. They talked about surgeries and hospital politics and residencies. He was making $250,000 a year, she mentioned casually. Next to them was Marcus with his boyfriend, an investment banker at Goldman Sachs. They talked about markets and deals and bonuses. Last I heard, the boyfriend was making $400,000 a year, Rachel told me later. Then there was Priya with her husband, a startup founder who'd raised $25 million in Series B funding. They talked about growth metrics and venture capital and exit strategy. Rachel introduced me to all of them, and I watched her face as she did. She'd say, "This is Daniel, my fiancé," and then immediately pivot away from me, like she was anxious to move the conversation past the introduction. She wouldn't let it linger on me. She'd immediately start asking Claire about a surgery, or Marcus about market trends, or Priya about the latest funding round. When she introduced me to Claire, she said, "This is Daniel, my fiancé. He works in tech." "Oh, Claire, I heard about that case you assisted on last week. Tell me about that." The conversation moved away from me immediately. I wasn't interesting enough to sustain focus. I was just something to get through before getting to the real people. I stood there for 3 hours, nursing a drink, making polite small talk, realizing that my fiancée was embarrassed to be seen with me. Later that night, after we got home, she brought it up. We were getting undressed for bed. She was agitated. "Did you see how Claire looked at you?" "What?" "No. She seemed nice. She was judging you." They all were. Rachel, they were polite. They seemed genuinely nice. They were patronizing. You know what her boyfriend does? He's a surgeon, making $250,000 a year. And Marcus's husband is an investment banker, making probably $400,000. Priya's husband raised $25 million in funding. And you're a project manager making $120,000. I sat on the edge of the bed. I'm good at what I do. It's not about being good at it. It's about the level. You're not on their level. Not even close. Rachel, I don't need to be on their level to be worthy of respect. That's not what I'm saying, she said. And then she said the thing that changed everything. The thing I couldn't unhear. I'm saying I'm embarrassed to introduce you to them. You don't fit. She said it quietly, like she was stating a fact. Not angry, just ashamed, embarrassed, not disappointed, not hoping I'd do better, not trying to motivate me. Embarrassed, like I was an awkward stain on her image. Like bringing me to these events was a liability she had to manage. Like having me stand next to her impressive colleagues was damaging her brand. She climbed into bed and turned away from me. Just like that. Said the most cutting thing she could say and then turned her back. I didn't sleep that night. At all. The processing. I lay there in the dark, listening to her breathing slowly even out as she fell asleep. My chest felt tight. I didn't sleep. Not for 1 second. I spent hours thinking about that word. Embarrassed. And I realized it wasn't new. It was just the first time she'd said it out loud. I thought about all the times she'd mentioned her coworkers' partners. The subtle digs about my career. The way she'd correct me at social events when I made a joke. Like she was managing my performance, curating what people saw. The way she'd position herself next to me at work functions like she was bracing for impact. There was a dinner party 8 months ago where one of her colleagues asked what I did. I explained my project management role, talked about implementing a new system that increased efficiency by 30%. Rachel interrupted mid-sentence. "It's basically corporate stuff. Nothing exciting like what you guys are doing." She laughed, trying to make it a joke, but it wasn't a joke. It was a signal. Don't take him seriously. Don't compare him to you. I thought about her not introducing me to her new friend group. She'd go out with Claire and Marcus and Priya, and I'd ask how it went, and she'd give one-word answers. Fine. Good. Okay. When I asked if I could join sometime, she said, it's just work stuff. Consulting shop talk. You wouldn't find it interesting. Translation, you don't fit. You're not impressive enough. You'd embarrass me. She wasn't just disappointed in my career. She was ashamed of me. Ashamed that she'd chosen me. And I think I'd known that for a while. I'd just been hoping it wasn't true. And that's when I realized something else. I couldn't fix this. Not really. Because the problem wasn't that I wasn't ambitious enough or successful enough. The problem was that she'd made a decision about me, and no amount of achievement was going to change that decision. She'd made a calculation at some point. Daniel isn't going to be impressive enough. Daniel isn't on the trajectory I'm on. Daniel is going to be a liability to my image. And once that calculation was made, everything I did was being measured against an impossible standard. I could get promoted tomorrow, and she'd say, but not partner track. I could make $200,000 and she'd say, but you're not doing anything innovative. I could start my own company and she'd say, but is it really going to be successful? I could cure cancer and she'd find a way to be disappointed that I hadn't cured it faster. There was no winning because the game had already been decided. I lay there next to her in the dark, listening to her sleep, realizing, this woman doesn't love me. She loves the idea of who I could be if I were someone else. And since I'm not that person, I'm just a disappointment she has to manage. A mistake she's trying to figure out how to fix. And I was tired of being a project. The realization. We had a wedding in 4 months. Deposits paid. Family planning. Everything in motion. But I realized, I didn't want to marry someone who was embarrassed by me. I didn't want to spend my life at cocktail parties trying to prove I was impressive enough. I didn't want to constantly hear about other people's husbands and their achievements. I didn't want to be someone's nice but not impressive husband. I didn't want to wake up every day wondering if I was disappointing the person I loved. I wanted to be with someone who was proud to introduce me. Not because I'm famous or rich, but because they respect me. Because they actually like me. Rachel stopped liking me somewhere along the way. Or maybe she never really did. Maybe she liked the idea of me, and then realized I didn't live up to the idea. Either way, it was over. I just needed to act like it was over. The conversation. I brought it up deliberately the next day. Not in anger. Just matter of fact. We were making breakfast. I've been thinking about what you said, I told her. About being embarrassed to introduce me to your coworkers. Rachel was pouring coffee. She froze. I didn't say, you did. You said you were embarrassed. That I don't fit. That I'm not on their level. I was upset. But you meant it. And I think you're right. She turned to look at me. What are you saying? I'm saying that if you're embarrassed by me, we're not compatible. And I'm not going to spend my life trying to prove I'm impressive enough for you. Daniel, I didn't mean, you did mean it. You've been meaning it for months. Maybe longer. And honestly, I can't be with someone who's embarrassed by me. Rachel's voice rose. This is crazy. You're throwing away our engagement over this. You threw it away when you decided I wasn't worth being proud of. I'm just making it official. We can fix this. We can work on it. Fix what? Your shame? No. You don't want to fix it. You want me to become someone else. Someone impressive. Someone on the level of your coworkers' husbands. And I'm not going to do that. I never said, you said it clearly. You don't want to introduce me to your work friends because you're embarrassed. That's a pretty clear statement. So I'm accepting it. I grabbed my jacket. Where are you going? She asked. I'm moving out this weekend. I'll find my own place. And tomorrow I'm going to call the venue and cancel the wedding. You can't just, I can. And I am. I left. That weekend. I packed a bag with essentials. Told Rachel I was staying with a friend temporarily. Didn't argue about the apartment or the deposits or any of it. I wasn't going to fight about logistics. I wasn't going to negotiate. I was just going to leave. Rachel called me Friday night. Her voice was panicked. We need to talk about this. We did. I said what I needed to say. You can't cancel the wedding. People have already made plans. My parents have arranged their flights. I can. And I'm doing it. My parents are going to be devastated. They'll get over it. And so will you. I hung up. Monday morning. I called the wedding venue. I need to cancel the event scheduled for 4 months from now. The planner on the line was shocked. What? You're only 4 months out. There will be significant cancellation fees. Most of our contracts. I understand. Send me the bill. I'll pay it. Sir, are you sure? Maybe you want to think about this. Have you talked to? I'm sure. The conversation took 90 seconds. The wedding was dead. Finding a place. I found a studio apartment across town. Nothing fancy. 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, a kitchen that's barely big enough for 1 person. But it was mine. Small kitchen, decent natural light. A space where I could just exist without trying to be something I'm not. Where I didn't have to perform or justify or prove my worth. I moved in the following weekend. Took my stuff. Didn't take anything from the shared apartment. Left everything for Rachel to figure out. By Sunday night, I was officially moved out. The calls. Rachel kept calling. Every day for the first week. Please, she'd say. We can fix this. There's nothing to fix. You didn't want me. You wanted someone more impressive. That's not true. I love you. You don't love me. You're disappointed in me. There's a difference. Please just come home. I am home. Alone. Where I don't have to worry about embarrassing anyone. She'd cry. I'd hang up. Her mom called on Wednesday. What's going on? Rachel said you canceled the wedding. That's right. Why would you do that? Because Rachel was embarrassed by me. And I'm not going to spend my life trying to be impressive enough for her. Or for you. She didn't say that. She did. She was ashamed to introduce me to her coworkers because I'm not a surgeon or an investment banker or impressive enough for her social circle. Long silence. That's not. I'm sure there's been a misunderstanding. There's no misunderstanding. Your daughter told me I don't fit, and I'm not on the level of her coworkers' partners. So I'm giving her the opportunity to find someone who is. I hung up. Rachel's sister called. Rachel's best friend called. Rachel herself kept texting. Please. We can work through this. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I didn't respond to any of it. The doorstep. 2 weeks after I moved out, Rachel showed up at my apartment with flowers and tears. I didn't want to see her, but I opened the door. Please, she said, just talk to me. There's nothing to talk about, Rachel. Please. We can work through this. I was wrong. I was stressed about work, and I took it out on you. I'm sorry. You were honest. That's the real you. The version that's embarrassed by me. I can't unknow that. I love you. You love the idea of me. You don't love me. She started crying harder. Stood there on my doorstep with flowers, tears running down her face, mascara running. I made a mistake, she said. Please. I closed the door. Moving on. I settled into my apartment. Started seeing friends again. Friends Rachel didn't like because they weren't impressive enough. Started going to the gym regularly. Started actually enjoying my job instead of feeling like I needed to justify it to someone. I'd wake up in the morning and not feel that knot in my stomach. Didn't have to wonder if I was disappointing someone. Didn't have to perform. A month after I moved out, my boss asked if I was interested in a promotion. Different department. Different path. Better pay, actually. More interesting work. It wasn't partner track at some consulting firm, but it was meaningful. It was real. It was something I actually wanted to do, not something I was doing to impress someone else. I considered it. Not to prove anything to Rachel. Just because I was interested in the work. I took it. 3 months post-breakup, I ran into one of Rachel's co-workers at a coffee shop. Claire. The surgeon's girlfriend. She recognized me. Oh hey. Daniel, right? Rachel's fiancé. Actually no. We're not together anymore. Oh. I'm sorry. What happened? She didn't think I was impressive enough for her social circle. And she was probably right. I don't really care about being impressive to people at cocktail parties. Claire looked uncomfortable. I don't think that's fair. Rachel never said. She did, actually. To me. Pretty clearly. I got my coffee and left. Walking out of that coffee shop, I realized I didn't feel angry. Didn't feel bitter. I just felt clear. And relieved. Rachel wanted someone who would fit into her world. Someone whose achievements would reflect well on her. Someone she could be proud to introduce to her colleagues. Someone she could use to enhance her image. And I wasn't that person. Not because I'm not capable or driven, but because I made different choices about what matters. I valued stability. She valued prestige. I valued a balanced life. She valued advancement. I valued being myself. She valued how I looked to other people. We were never compatible. We just took 3 years to figure it out. Now, 6 months post-breakup. I'm doing fine. Better than fine, actually. No stress about proving myself. No pressure to be someone I'm not. No one keeping score of my achievements and finding them wanting. No one sighing when I walk in the room. No one comparing me to someone else's boyfriend. I date casually. Nothing serious yet. But it's light. Easy. Nobody's measuring me against some imaginary standard or comparing me to their coworkers' husbands. It's just people hanging out, enjoying each other's company. I don't think about Rachel much. When I do, it's not with anger, just clarity. She wanted someone impressive. I wasn't that. So it ended. Simple as that. People ask me if I regret how I handled it, if I should have tried harder, if I was too quick to give up, if I should have fought for the relationship instead of accepting her judgment. But I didn't give up. Rachel gave up. She decided I wasn't worth being proud of. She decided that my career, my choices, my life wasn't impressive enough to reflect well on her. She made that decision, and then she said it out loud. And once she said it, I couldn't unhear it. I could have begged her to take it back. I could have promised to change, to try harder, to be more ambitious. I could have spent years chasing the version of myself she wanted me to be. But that version of myself would still never be enough. Because the problem wasn't actually me. The problem was that she'd already decided I wasn't worth it. She'd made the calculation and moved on mentally years ago. She just needed me to catch up. Some people make a choice about you very early on. And once that choice is made, nothing you do changes it. You can only accept it and move forward. I accepted it, and I moved on. And I've never been happier. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.